this story like 8 years old? And I checked. This story's 8 years old, and it was corrected like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so TFCon, BotBots, Cyberverse.
Hey Matt, you did see the guard cities, right? I think did I mention them to you?
I saw them. I was trying to get Brian to buy those too.
Guard City.
Yeah, the guard cities I texted you about. I didn't know whether you saw them by that point or not.
Wait, you mean the one at TFCon?
Yeah,
I'd already skipped them at that point. Yeah. But I thought you were talking about the ones on eBay right now.
Oh no, I don't. I do not look because that is way too tempting when you've got a PayPal credit account. So no,
there are two up right now.
How much are they?
They're both. One is 16 in the box. Not bad. The other is 2100 in the box. It's the box is in better shape, but yeah, the one at TFCon that was 1950 or whatever it was. They had two in the box at TFCon, right, as well.
Yeah, the one of them was over 2. I can't remember, like maybe 24.
Whatever.
21.
26.
That was the one that had unapplied stickers, right?
Yeah, that was the one with unapplied stickers.
That's
the other one was like just under $2,000.
Yeah, man, 1600. That's.
I didn't see any battle guys though.
No battle guys were there.
Yeah, I was because I saw that guard city and I started looking around because it's like between the two, I'd rather have my Bruticus collection more complete.
I wouldn't be that picky.
I mean, I would take either one, but I would if I had my druthers of one or the other, it'd probably be Battle Gaia because it's a more distinct.
Yeah, it's more different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Guard City pretty much is just, the Protectobots with a blue blades and red hotspot.
And somebody's going to see it and they're going to think, well, that's just a knockoff from the Easter basket or whatever.
Well, they all have like variations here and there. Spark Ride and Groove has a gold chest plate and Spark Ride has a silver one, stuff like that. There are ways to tell them apart, but not at a glance.
Yeah, to the casual observer, they're just going to see a red hotspot and
blue
not
blades,
pay attention to anything else. No, they won't even pay attention to the blue blades. They'll just see red hotspot, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, the thing I saw I wanted two things actually that I really didn't get and I wanted to was over in the corner beside the guy that was set up beside Bobby Skullface. He had the Mr. Hardhat gift set.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I know I wasn't crazy because I saw him on the backing cap at a Roses in like 86, 87.
What are we talking about?
I just posted.
Is that one of the My First Transformers things?
No, it was a off-brand. Transistor Robots. It was that Transistor Robots line, and he had the Mr. Hardhat gift set.
The Devastator-esque set.
Yeah, and I really wanted that, and then I saw another piece. I didn't get it. I've shown y'all the picture of the Superfire Dagwan gift set that I've got with a slipcover for the 2 DX figures from Dagwan. I saw one for Galgagar that was Galgagar and Goldie Marg in a gift set box.
Yeah,
that was absolute. That was so beautiful. But one of my friends said when he saw it, it was $80 for the set. And I said, show me, because a gift set for $80 for DX Galgagar. And then when we got there, he said, well, he's changed the price because there was a 1 now between the $sign and the 8. So it was like, So there's that. But that's two things I kind of really wanted. But I didn't need them, so I didn't get them.
Yeah, I saw both of those things. I visited both of those dealers at different points, too. But
I saw several carded GoBots, man, I wanted.
The Cro-Mag toys had some.
Yeah,
I didn't see a whole lot of carded stuff. I saw some GoBots. Don't get me wrong, just not a lot of carded stuff.
Well, I saw the Machine Robo version of Flytrap with the blue and the white, but he was really, the legs were so loose he couldn't even stand up. So I kind of wanted him, but
I've had days like that.
Yeah, but Cro-Mag did have like a carded. I think they had a blue leader one, but I was really, if I was sinking anything into it, it would have been either Man of War or Tux. But carded GoBots are getting way too expensive. I mean, you can't. I mean, I saw a Vanguard on eBay for $199. Now the card was flat, unpunched, no price sticker.
Oh wow!
But $199 for Vanguard is like,
I pretty much stayed at 3 dealers at TFCon. I went to Cro-Mag Toys. I spent quite a bit of time there because of that Raiden gift set, and Don had I recommended them in the past. John Runsky. I always try to buy something from John. I didn't talk to his wife though. John's the one where I knew his wife and I knew him, but she lived in Louisiana, I think, and he lived in Virginia, and I had no idea that they knew each other until they got married, which is just weird. So that was kind of a strange thing. And of course, Transformer Land. That's where I spent most of my time this weekend.
And money from the look of it.
Yeah.
the Cro-Mag is where I tweeted this out a couple of months ago. They had that White Crasher on card because right when the line came out, they hadn't changed Crasher to her current colors, and a few of them came over as the White Crashers, which was gorgeous. But that '80s white plastic, I just hate. That's why I didn't even think about that Minerva. Not only was she $2,600 for that Minerva, 24. Yeah, it was.
She was. Did you see it? I didn't.
I didn't let myself get close to it.
Out of the box, it was gorgeous.
I know. I did not out of fear of being really, really stupid.
TFCon it was weird for me because I saw lots of people that I recognized, like the guy that was holding Minerva. I know that I've met him before, and I probably know him online, like on the Twitters or from Alt Toys Transformers or something. But I, didn't know who he was, talking to him, face to face. But we talked because we both knew M. Cypher. We both were, talking about Minerva. He got to hold the Guard City. I just stood there and took pictures while he was holding it. Just weird because there's a lot of people that I saw that I know I've met or know. I'm just so terrible now with my memory.
Well, see, Brian, that's me. I mean, even before BotCon started in '94, I had a terrible memory with names. And all these people that I've met through the years, all these great people, even some people I met at the show, I can't remember. I'm sitting here right now, I can't remember some of their names. And it's like, I just don't have the ability to connect names and people like I need to. And all these people that I've met this weekend that were great people, people that got stuff from me, stuff I bought from people, I can't remember their names. So it's like, I just hate doing that. But it's like, I just can't.
I always have a problem remembering the people like that I meet from convention to convention. It usually takes me a couple times. And this weekend I was super sociable, so I met like a lot of people. And it's going to be. It's going to be.
Was he drunk?
Be tricky. Not drunk. Drinking, yes.
Well, there you go.
I was not sociable.
That has actually turned into my favorite part of the convention now. After everything closes, just hanging out in the lobby in the bar.
Because I'll be honest, I was going to bring this on the show, but it's kind of rambling, so I won't do it on the show. But I kind of
why change the habits of a lifetime, Don?
Yeah, I'm with But I kind of had an epiphany when I was down there Saturday morning in the dealer room before my girlfriend got up because she was sleeping in. And I stood there and I looked around for the longest time, and it was like, I don't need any of this stuff. I want it.
Oh, good. It wasn't just me.
But I don't. Again, JD's been on my mind as I'm trying to go through what's left in his stuff and trying to, get everything lined up and everything. I'm trying to do a big, huge eBay list here next time I have some days off in a row, just to try to move some stuff. But it's like I want this stuff. I think it looks beautiful. All the stuff Chosen Prime had, all the stuff Agabus had, I want it. But I already have either versions of it from previous lines, or I really don't need it. It's like, and it just hit me in the middle of the floor. Like, I didn't know what to do now that I wasn't needing all the shinies.
And here I am. I'm thinking about in the next 10 years. By the time I'm your age, Don, I want to complete my G1 collection.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I said, with JD's been on my mind lately because of all the stuff I went through with my eyes and everything else. It's just like I went through and canceled. I canceled all my Earthrise stuff except for Leader Prime. I've gone through and gutted most of my pre-orders.
Okay, Don, so in case you're not on the show.
Actually, then you're going to have to kick me off too because I'm actually contemplating the exact same thing.
I mean, it's just I got a good Generations hoist. I got a good Generations Trailbreaker. I don't need a new hoist.
Like I still like the hoist and the grapple. I'll still end up with those eventually. I'll probably just wait until I see them out somewhere. But I'm at a point like, what am I going to do with this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like I said last week,
it's going to bury me. That's what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah. No, it is literally piling up like all around me.
So it's just
anybody else ever have the nightmare about people just delivering boxes and boxes to you until you're trapped in the house?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
No, I don't have to have a nightmare about that. That's my reality.
But I do try to make sure the stuff I have stuff laying like in a pile does not fall. And then stuff falls on top of them because cat and crevice and
just I got stuff piling up, and I think I'd rather just shift my fandom focus into getting stuff that I really, really want instead of whatever's new. Like it's coming out, I have to pre-order it. Like I'm trying to get away from that and focus on like a couple specific things because I found some really neat stuff at the convention that I picked up, and I'm happy with it. But I was like, looking around at new stuff, and
yeah, I went back to the room that morning. I got some coffee at Panera, went back up and sat down with my girlfriend. She asked me what was wrong. So I walked in, she knew something was wrong, and I just said, I don't know how to act when I'm in a dealer room and don't want anything, or what I want is so minor that I'm not looking every corner, looking under the tables, those boxes on the tables, and that I'm not.
What do you do when the game is over?
Yeah, I guess really that's it. And I mean, I'm not trying to get disparaging or anything. It's just it really hit me this weekend that. So, like Matt said, the socializing, spending time with y'all, going out and doing stuff with y'all, doing stuff with my girlfriend, her meeting y'all. That was all. I mean, it's been more important these last decade than it was the first couple of years because I was living in the dealer room. Mm-hmm. But it's an epiphany that I've just really took me off guard. I mean, I still bought stuff, obviously, but
I'm always going to buy stuff at the convention.
Yeah, it's just weird that it hit me that hard. Like, I really don't need this anymore. And I mean, that's
good.
Yeah, I know. My girlfriend said, it's a sign that you're already mature, but in some cases, you're growing up. And I thought that's true.
My God, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I it's definitely I think it's a good thing personally. So I still buy a lot of crap, but I God, over the last 15 years, as things it got progressively weirder, I kind of I used to buy stuff by the whole wave. I can't do it anymore. I think if nothing else, I think getting selective is healthy, and just realizing that none of it's necessary It is, I think, the most important part. Because once you let go of the idea that you have to have any of this, you can basically get as much of it as you want without doing any damage to yourself, is the way I look at it.
Well,
Probably
she told me that. No,
it.
not at all. I mean, we sat down. She talked for a few minutes before we went downstairs, and she said, "You work hard for your money. You pay your bills. If you want to get something, get something." And she's right. But I think it's a balancing act. Now that I've got so much of everything, I got VHS tapes going back 20 years that I still haven't transferred to DVD that I was planning on doing 15 years ago.
They may not even be viable anymore.
And Mama's Family's on DVD and Blu-ray now, so.
Again, I'm not trying to be, get depressing. It's just sort of weird that it hit me. Of all the shows I've been to, all the bot cons, all the TF cons, all the whatever, this is when it really hit me, and it's just kind of weird,
Yeah, I just had so much fun doing other stuff that I was like, I don't need all the toys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I had hit the lottery before I went there, and I had all this money, and I could have bought me the house. I'm just saying, if like my dad said, if Hoppy Toads had wings, they wouldn't bust their butts. There's that. But I would have bought so much stuff from Agabus and so much stuff from Chosen Prime, and I would have bought MP44 just to have MP44 and done all this stuff.
If you hit the lottery, you would have to hold on to that to buy that 4-foot tall Fortress Maximus that Fans Hobbies doing.
Fans, toys,
funny.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's funny. Don's talking about the dealers that, to me, are, and no offense to them, because I do buy from like Chosen Prime for new stuff, like through their website, occasionally. But like to me, those are like deserts in the dealer room. That's the stuff that's just like taking up space. That's just in my way that I have to walk around.
Yeah, no, if I was there and hit the lottery, if I was in the scenario Don was describing, I would have been at Transformer Land buying those G2 Protectobots. And,
I mean, I'm just saying,
some of those watches.
Yeah,
oh my
the watches.
God.
I mean, again,
so
but
bad.
see, even though hypothetically, if I could afford those G2 G2 Stunticons, if I could afford them, I don't think I could enjoy them with as expensive as they were. I mean, I would want them, but it's still like, even though you have the money, you're still spending how much for this? It's weird in my head now. You kind of get
scared to handle them after a certain point.
Well, that's why it's you hit the lottery and you buy that. Like, it's not something you'd ever do in a practical scenario, but like if you had just scads of money, more than you reasonably would know what to do with at any one time. You buy that just to say, I have this. I'm one of 5 people in the world that has this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those the G2 Protectobots and Stunticons, they're a bargain compared to buying them, as a complete set off eBay.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it that way, Don.
It's just weird that it hit me but I mean, I got to meet, I hadn't seen Blade Raider in a while. I met him and his brother.
I was in the elevator with his brother, and I'm like, I know I recognize this guy, and I can't place who it is. Then like 2 minutes later, we were sitting down in the lobby together.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just so many people, seeing so many old faces, dealers I know, and just wish I could remember most. I know them, I just can't place them in context with anything, but the only thing I wasn't really happy about as far as the dealer's room was that and this was more for other people, that the artist alley kind of got put in its own little room, and it's like, I kind of don't. That's kind of like,
was it?
Well, yeah.
I actually appreciated that. It gave us more room in the dealer room, and it gave people a fair freaking chance at getting Grimlock Optimus's customs, because last time one of the dealers was standing there at his table and would not move, waiting for the doors to open so he could clean them out before the actual attendees got in.
Action Alley people over there seem like they would have had a better shot at selling more if they were in the dealer's room than being stuck off to the side. But I guess maybe the Venn diagram is big enough that you could be over there and people would still want to find you because they know you're there.
If people are there for Artist Alley, they know where Artist Alley is.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I think it's kind of separate crowds, I think, than people looking for merchandise and people looking for art. There's going to be overlap like there is with anything else, but it's probably not a terrible thing that they each have their own space. I'd be interested to hear what some of the artists had to think about it, though.
We were at the closing ceremony, and there was one in particular that was very upset and was very...
Yeah, we're not going to go into that, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
very outspoken. Yeah.
Let's start.
Okay.
Okay. Recording there. And here. And here. 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 646. I am Brian Kilby. And with me this week, we have... Let's go to John. Hey, John. He's muted.
What are you doing, man? I'm coding.
You're coding.
Sort of. Well, like WYSIWYG coding.
You can't just surprise call on him when he's sitting there muted, looking off to the side. He's totally
making things for you.
Thank
you.
What
a jerk. What a jerk. Okay. I'm good, though.
Okay. Awesome. There's, speaking of looking off to the side, there's Diecast.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. We heard from Chris a second ago.
Yes.
Don.
Yo.
Joe. Matt.
Yay, I'm here.
And Rob Clay.
Hi.
How you feeling, Rob?
Gradually better. I'm able to eat a few more things. Stuff hurts less. It's going to be like 3 more weeks until I'm back up in top form, but I'm getting there.
Cool. Very cool.
How'd the cheese experiment go?
Cheese went fine.
Yay.
It's progress.
Hey, we love progress.
We love cheese, too.
Actually,
yes.
Yeah. So my wife...
TFradio.net/Amazon for all your cheese needs.
You don't want to buy cheese from... You can Prime now, yeah, you could, but I wouldn't
buy...
Yeah. My wife is now addicted to this cheese called Tillamook. It's really good. It comes like in blocks or in shredded and everything. It's delicious. So, yeah, TFCon was this weekend. I think a lot of us are still kind of recovering from that, and I think a couple of us have the beginnings of con crud.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a little bit of it. Not the worst I've ever had. Absolutely, it's not going to make me miss any time. Just I am a little stuffy though.
Yeah, I woke up coughing this morning, and I've been coughing all day. I'm finally over it, but my throat's still scratchy.
You people are just describing everyday life for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, TFCon was this weekend. We had a lot of fun in varying degrees. Actually, let me look at the show notes. I don't think there's anything else. Let's just recap TFCon. Before we get into news, and we can sort of segue into what we got. It really was a lot of fun. We met a lot of people. I don't know that we went to that many panels, but I think a lot of us spent a lot of time in the dealer room.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah. The only panel that I went to was the first podcaster panel, which Eric ran that. I think he winged it, but he ran it. I think it was fun. I think it would have benefited from some additional structure, but like planning. He could have recorded it if he'd planned it. But yeah, so Eric, great job. Don and Matt represented us this year. I wanted John to be there, but he wasn't able to make it. So.
Yeah, can't. Pregnant wife.
Yeah.
That's enough said. Like that says it
all. Pretty much. Yeah.
So what'd you guys, and Diecast was there with me. What did you guys think of the podcaster panel?
It was a panel.
It was a panel.
Oh.
The problem in general with the podcaster panel, and this is, I mean, I understand it, but it's a podcaster panel in the sense that the people up there are on a podcast, but that's almost entirely where it ends. It's really just talking about like what you expect to see at the convention or what exclusives
it was pretty standard fare. We just went over who was from what show, what are we most looking forward to this weekend, what do we want to see in the dealer room.
And if you're not there to buy a exclusive or there's nothing you're specifically looking for at the dealer room, you're just kind of up there twiddling your fingers. You're just like, okay, I'm here. That's kind of Jenny, I think, did a really good job. Jenny sort of she jumped in and really started plugging your show and everything, and I think brought a lot of energy to the panel. But I think
Jen and Eric absolutely did most of the work on that podcast panel.
Yeah. I really think I don't know that I want to be on it again. It's just not really my thing. But I think if I was, I would want to make a point to like do sort of what Jen did and jump in and start plugging the podcast more and talking about the podcast. I think that's the value of the panel is you have podcasters together. They should be talking about their podcasts and communications and like media and stuff instead of just like I'm really looking forward to this third party toy of repaint of something or other. Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, that could have made that could have made a good like conversational like way to close things out, but maybe a little more structured start so that everybody could talk about their shows and their different approaches might have worked better from the sound of things.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I've listened to a couple of them where they really did go in and talk about podcast stuff, and that's really interesting to me. But just in general, it's really just, hey, what are you talking about? What are you looking forward to? What are you going to get? What's your favorite TFCon memory? Did anybody go to any other panels? I think we all skipped the third party panel.
Aww.
I was there.
Oh, everybody else skipped the third party panel. Don, did you learn anything?
Well, yeah, I learned that apparently Fans Toys is jumping on the Unicron gravy train and is going to be announce something extremely outlandishly spectacular or spectacularly outlandish.
I learned that 10 seconds after it was on the screen at the panel from Twitter.
Yeah, I honestly watched Twitter from the room because I was I was a little bit tired. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just going to see what happens in the third party panel on Twitter.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to it anymore.
Well, I kind of wish they had waited just a little bit to start because it looked like they finally cut out a lot of the stuff.
Really?
That was
it's no longer 600 slides.
Well, no, I mean, they actually ended at about 20 till, top of the hour. But they also started before everybody got into the room because the panel, I mean, there was very little compared to previous years of stuff that was down in the dealer room to buy. That's always been a problem with the TFCon panel is they're showing stuff that's literally down there you can buy right now and has been seen several months prior. So they cut a lot of that out, but the first 5 minutes I missed the panel because I was outside trying to get in and they started the panel early and it still ended 20 minutes prior. So, that there was that. And I did go to the Aaron Archer panel. I wasn't really...
Did you learn anything new? I was going to go to Aaron.
I learned a few things about Armada, about some of the stuff they did for Armada, but I mainly just went there to ask him what he thought about the Unicron reveal and the Kickstarter like program, and in his opinion, what he thought of the whole rollout. Because that, if that was 10 years ago, that would have been his thing.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend about that. I'm like, I think the Aaron panel is the only one I'm going to go to. He's like, do you really think Aaron's going to say anything that you haven't heard before? And I'm like, maybe I will go to no panels this year. It's kind of what happened.
Because he said he was, it was something that could only be pulled off right now because of the with Unicron, because of the collector-driven market and the income that was there to buy such a thing. And that way he was glad he didn't have to execute the program. So he was kind of glad about that. He was sort of sorry that his Unicron wasn't the biggest Unicron anymore, but he's really glad that it's being done for the sake of the fans.
I talked to him later, and he admitted that he was just having a little fun when he said that. He holds nothing against this Unicron project.
Oh, I know. It's just but I think really he was really relieved that this didn't happen back when it was on his watch, to have to try to plan this thing. I don't think it could have happened back then. I don't think the structure was there for it to happen.
Yeah, let's jump forward 10 years until Ben Montano's off doing something else, and he looks back on this experience and can talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that should be interesting.
So I don't want to sound like I'm down on the convention, because I actually had a lot of fun. I actually think this was a really well managed show.
I think I had more fun at this TFCon than I have at any prior, just for different reasons. It was the social aspect this year that was just outstanding.
Yeah, tons of people.
I
had more problems with the hotel elevators than I did the convention.
Yeah, I actually didn't do any panels the second day.
Real quick, I'm going to backtrack because Don confused people, and I didn't get it because I knew what he was talking about. Rodimus Supreme was asking what third-party Unicron. It's not Unicron, it's Fortress Maximus. Don was saying that third party, that Fans Toys is getting in on the Unicron scale business. They're doing a gigantic Fortress Maximus. It's not Unicron.
That's not to scale with Unicron, though. It's going to be larger.
Scale's a BS term. It's that size. It's larger. It's like another 13 inches taller.
Gigantic, ridiculously expensive transformer.
Let's say it's on the Unicron order of magnitude.
Yeah, because they showed a picture of their hoodlum, FT-17, I think, and it was just. It was a Legends compared to the G1 Fortress Maximus is what you can kind of get from that.
I think their Cerebros head is going to be the size of Hoodlum. So, and the body
like
is
Voyager sized.
Yeah,
8 to 10 inches. Someone at the show who I was sitting beside looked it up at one of the websites, and it was listed 8 to 10 inches tall.
Well, that's
I guess maybe 10 to the top of the fins on the back.
Yeah. So it's a very large Fortress Maximus. So I'm not getting it. I don't need it. But
it is kind of cool because the connecting point is a very Headmaster's style head because it's the sword coming out the bottom of the neck. So it connects like Fortress Maximus from the Headmasters. So I thought that was kind of
maximum market tolerance.
I might actually be able to live in it once it gets here.
Yeah, so that's it's pretty cool. But yeah, going back to what Matt was saying, the social aspect was great. Tons of people.
I met so many people, and I had actual not just in passing too, but in depth, hours long sometimes conversations. It was pretty great.
I mean, yeah, tons of people. I spoke to a lot of listeners who came up, and what do we say? A fist bump. I think it's what I posted on Twitter. If you see the guys, give them a fist bump or a hug. Met a lot of people. People shared the stories about listening to the podcast. I think my favorite one was the guy who said that he said, "Don't take this the wrong way." It's like I can't sleep on the plane, but I fell asleep listening to the latest RFC, and I'm like, great, that is awesome. It's exactly what I want to hear. But yeah, so I met some new people. It was just a lot of fun. I think my favorite thing about at least doing the podcast and being in sort of the convention scene is people knowing you. But I don't want people to come up, oh my God, I listen to your podcast. What I like is I just walk by and I ask somebody a question. They're like, hey, yeah, Brian, it's blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, hey, it's just that's kind of cool that somebody might know you. They don't think it's a big deal to talk to you, but you're somehow part of their life in some weird way because they spend an hour a week listening to you. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Don. What are you gonna say?
I was give a shout out to the staff, the Hyatt staff. I've been to several. I mean, I've been to all the shows. I've been to a lot of the shows, and sometimes the hotel staff treats the con guests like we're, steerage class customers on the Titanic. We got the con rate. We're not their normal clientele. I understand that, but every interaction I had with the hotel staff was professional, polite, courteous, and they knew what they were talking about, and they came through on what they said. I asked the lady there at the front desk if they could send up some more coffee packs. 30 minutes later, they brought the coffee up that we needed coffee for the room. And I'm just going to give them a shout out for being professional and treating us like they would their regular clientele.
We're middle-aged people. We're the ones who have the disposable income. We're the regular business. We may be wearing
income.
Yeah, we may be wearing a t-shirt that weekend, but it's not like we're 17-year-olds anymore who obviously don't have a job and are living in our parents' basement.
Yeah, well,
I live in my own basement.
Yes. I mean, I understand the mindset, like 15 or 20 years ago, like really you're just a college kid who's here who brought $10 with them. I'm not going to worry about it. But like now you can't tell because we're middle-aged adults. I don't know, that's my thought. Like I don't know. I don't want to feel that or act like I'm inferior to somebody else just because I'm there for a convention and we're spending money like anybody else. I don't know. Sorry to poop in your cornflakes, Don.
Spider Bob says
I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
I got to say, some of the highlights of the convention for me. I got to hang out at the bar with Aaron Archer again, which he is awesome to talk to, and he was very funny. Like he had me in stitches. And then also I got
Did he give you a present? Because he gave me one.
No.
Oh.
Guess we know who he likes better.
And then also I got my Malaysian dub Transformers name from Brian's family.
Wally, right?
The Diacast.
Diacast. That would be the just the Japanese name. I think they would add an extra syllable. Yeah, my 3-year-old loves. She is enamored with Diecast. God, she cried if he wasn't there. It was actually really creepy.
Well, Diecast has always been, popular with children.
So she would alternate between Diecast and Dietcast.
Yeah, Diecast is.
In a few more years, you'll probably need that.
She's
when the metabolism slows down a
skinny.
little bit more.
Yeah, but the Diecast is so funny. The Malaysian dub name. That's how TF Radio TF University. Anthony from TF University put it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. She actually was wondering where you were when we got home, and I'm like, he's not here, baby.
Maybe Orlando.
Yeah, I honestly didn't, even though I had a lot of fun, the thing was for me, that was, I don't want to say a challenge, but it's kind of like I kind of wanted to get out of it a month ago because I'm like, it's going to be hard to take all three kids, a 3-year-old, a 3-month-old, and a 7-year-old, and have a lot of fun at this. And, I had to spend a lot of time with the kids. And I'm like, I just don't want to do it next time. I'm going to hold off, maybe when the kids are older, But then they're like Orlando, and I'm like, crap. Because, of course. Yeah.
No Orlando for me. I'm going to need a break. I cannot, as much as I would love to, I cannot do this every 4 months.
I really want to go, and I hope I can, if I can get off of work and stuff like that. The other thing is, because of the location, it's a great location, but you kind of need to take an extra day or two in the beginning or at the end just to do Universal Studios. If you're going to be there, you might as well do Universal Studios. So that's my plan, is to hopefully go out.
Is the Star Wars park open in Florida yet?
In Disney.
I think so.
Yeah. I know California's is. I don't know if Florida's open yet.
I think yeah, I think it is.
Probably will be by March anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get there like a good day early, day and a half early, just so I can go and do the park.
I like Universal. The time that I've spent there. I think the kids would like it. Maybe we'll bring somebody else along to sort of help shepherd the kids so I can do the convention.
Triplet.
No, Triplet would no.
Why would you
I don't
do
know.
that to the children?
I just had the mental image of Triplet trying to herd children.
Yeah, actually, speaking of conventions, I was just briefly talking to Pete Sinclair in an elevator and told him how I have heard really good things about RoboCon, which was Pete's Robot Convention, and I really have. I've heard a lot of good stuff, and people have gone. And he said that the next one is going to be at the Galt House in Louisville. And honestly, I think Louisville is my favorite city that we've done a BotCon in. I loved, as far as like getting around and everything, there's skywalks everywhere, great food.
That was a really
like a
nice
block and a
place.
half from the Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah. I had a blast there, and I'm like, I could really go back. But then they announced TFCon in April or March?
March
Yeah.
20th to the 22nd.
So I'm torn. If I go to either, it would probably be TFCon for Universal, but I really did love Louisville. Let's see here. What else? Dealer room. TFCon always has, at least in the U.S., I've never been to Canada, always has a great dealer room, relatively speaking. I mean, it's very comparable to any other. And heck, it's comparable to most BotCons, except for maybe the last few. I think the ones at BotCon tended to be a little larger, but I mean, that's not too surprising. Pretty much a little bit of everything of what you'd be looking for. A lot of Japanese stuff this year, but you normally, I didn't go to, was it Asuza's?
I did.
I know. Yeah, I know you got but what did you see besides what you got?
He didn't seem to have a whole lot of stuff this year. So, I mean, I think he had, a couple of Beast Wars things, but a lot of it I saw was like more current generations, like the Go Shooter and stuff like that. But I didn't get a really good look because he had a really small table and he was kind of tucked in somebody else's corner.
Yeah. I just saw you buying the one thing. I really didn't get a good look at that. I think that was that near Transformerland, close-ish. I think it was. Of course, they had a lot of rare stuff. I got really up close to a beautiful Mitten Box, Minerva, a really beautiful guard city. They had a couple of really nice guard cities in the box. They had G2 Stunicons and Protectobots. The G2 watches meant on a sealed card. Those ran from like $250 to $275, if I remember right. They had Scorpia too, which is like the rarest one. I didn't see that one. I think it was $275 or $300, from what I heard. Just tons of stuff. I mean, basically, I'm trying to think what I didn't see when it comes to like Japanese G1. I mean, the stuff that I could probably pick, like I don't remember seeing like a Grandis. But like almost everything else, I didn't see a Battle Gaia, but just about anything else you can name was there more or less, in some form. So yeah, tons and tons and tons of stuff. I mean, a lot of mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Any other thoughts about the convention before we jump into what we got at the convention?
I really, really enjoyed the Autopod Decepticast panel, their Transformers the Movie Madness panel. It was pretty close to what they did last year in Chicago. They actually said they can't do it a third time, so they're going to have to think up of something else for next year. But their commentary on the Transformers the movie is pretty priceless. It was a good time.
Is it like an MST? What is it like? I didn't go to it. I was
so it kind of gets that feeling to it, but they'll point out just how many times Daniel's life was in mortal danger, and just things like that.
Cool.
They'll stop for 3 rounds of trivia in between their panel and give out prizes and stuff like that. They put on a really good panel.
Cool.
And they're just awesome guys too. I spent a good chunk of the weekend hanging out with Aaron and Ryan.
Very cool. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go to that, and you spoke very highly of it. I didn't realize they did it in Chicago last year. Of course, I didn't go to Chicago last year. Yeah, on Twitter, they seem like really nice guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, Aaron and I closed out the bar every night.
Whoa. That's not like you, is it? I've never known you to...
It is now.
It is now.
It is now.
We've gotten to him.
like I just said, that's part of the social experience that I've really grown to love about these conventions.
I see Eric's in the chat right now. Hey, Eric, how did the recording of the podcast panel go? We'll find out. So, the exclusives. We didn't talk about the exclusives. So we knew going in what all the exclusives were, but one. There was a surprise. There was another deco of the Sphinx by DX9. This time it was black and gold, sort of in the Optimus Prime skater thing colors. It's called Pharaoh.
It's supposed to be a tomb. The package is a tomb and everything.
Yeah, they were stacked up in a pyramid shape.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. It's pretty, but I don't need it. Dawn had to have it though, apparently. So I see it right there.
Yeah, it looks really nice, but yeah, other than the name Sphinx and loosely affiliated Pharaoh, I don't get it.
Well, it was kind of an impulse buy, but when I saw it in person, how nice the colors looked, and I would rather have something like this that I have at least I can put with the other Mirages than the Rat Bat. That would just kind of be like a one-off thing that doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, so let's see. Well, I did end up getting the only exclusive that I got for myself was the Regenesis Sphinx, which of course is the Sphinx in G2 colors, and it's gorgeous. Don, so I didn't think you got that, so you did get it.
Yeah, I got it. Yep, that's what I went down for. That's why I was down there at 6 a.m. on Saturday, was to make sure I got one.
I was looking at photos of one, the mock-up that was made of this, and two, the art that was made, and I was just sort of trying to compare and see what the differences are. The one thing that I can that I really see immediately that liberties that they took with the toy was the face. One, the face is not the right face, but two, they painted the eyes where the mock-up and the art, it was just solid green. I think I like it better in the art. I think that just as beautifully gaudy as it is, I think I would have liked it better if it had been just straight up flat green instead of with the additional color. But otherwise it's just flipping amazing.
Oh, it is. The only downside is, since Pharaoh was the unannounced exclusive, I was kind of hoping they would pull the G2 Ramjet out as a surprise,
yes,
and they didn't.
I thought about that.
So that means
they've got the mold.
It means it. Yeah,
maybe
so
in
that
Florida.
means it. That's just it. I was really hoping to get that, because between G2 Starscream and Ramjet's always been the more unique deco and everything. So that's what I was kind of hoping for here, but I'm very happy with that.
The I honestly I hadn't seen the Starscream in person, and I saw that they still had it for sale, and I almost bought one, but I didn't. You're right. It's just not different enough to where I had to have it. Yeah. Where the Regenesis Sphinx is distinct.
Yeah, Chosen Prime had a bundle that was the Starscream, the G2 Inferno from their backdraft, and the G2 Jazz from their Downbeat. They had a bundle set for $400, I think, for all three. But I didn't see them for sale individually. But I also wasn't looking for the Starscream either.
Let's see here, Don. You also got the bulkhead, right?
Yeah, you got me the bulkhead. Let me hold them up here.
What do you haven't opened it yet?
No, I came back late Sunday, and I've been working solid Monday, Tuesday, and today. So tomorrow's going to be an open stuff day when I get back from the doctor's appointment I've got.
Did you get it diecast?
Yeah, I got the bulkhead, and I got the G2 Sphinx, and I also got the Senator Ratbat.
Have you opened Ratbat yet, or the bulkhead?
The bulkhead I have not. Actually, the Ratbat I opened while I was there. I forget what they're calling that. It's the MMC
Senator.
Oh yeah. I was like, you always need a senator in DC.
That's the only way I remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, I opened him. He's really nice. I mean, I've had that mold before because it's off their, I believe, the Arrow mold. And I have Arrow, and that's really good. So,
was it not Senator? Was it Senator? Somebody saying it's Ultio in the chat. Is that right?
Well, it was called Altio, but for all intents and purposes, it's Senator Ratbat.
Yeah,
anyway.
I thought the actual name of the toy was Senator based on your tweet. So
yeah, I thought it said Senator on there. I don't know. The box is honestly, I haven't taken any of these stuff out of the car yet. So, it's all still in my car.
So if you happen to know Diecast's address, this would be a great time to come and break into his car and get a little piece of TFCon for yourself.
It's a Lexus.
I mean, it's
has
a
an
4-hour drive. It's
yeah, but I mean, some people probably live closer than that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Jason maybe could hop over and.
It'd be a 4-hour drive for him too.
Yeah, but he didn't go to TFCon, so at least you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay. So was there another exclusive that nobody got?
The Grimlock.
Oh, Eric got that. He loved it. Eric was very pleased with that.
I think that was actually the first one to sell out. I don't think no, that was I think the last one to sell out, and they did not produce as many as everything else, if I heard correctly.
The paint, everything, the paint apps, everything looked a lot better in person. Not crazy about that toy, but yeah, I mean, it looked very nice. I can live without it because I can live without it. So hey, let's real quick talk about, I guess, some of the other stuff we got at TFCon. Diecast. What did you get? Did you get the 19 Unicron set?
Yes, I did.
Did you get a deal on it? Because I've been looking to get that.
I think it was a good price.
What retail on that was what, $150?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I got it for $110.
Oh, geez, that's good.
Yeah. So there was one dealer there who was just getting rid of his collection. So he was actually moving to Japan, and I was talking to him for a while, and so he was asking. Dononomics did a little bit because he was asking 120, and I got him down to 110. So
that's a good pickup. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, when I saw it, I didn't love it, but skipping it, I've regretted it.
Exactly.
It was so silly. Yeah.
I actually did not like it when it first came out, and now that it's been so long and they haven't done anything like that again, I'm like, now it's kind of cool. And I was kind of thinking of displaying them with my Unicron when I get it. So
nice. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, of course you had to have that.
Yeah, it was in my mind how I wanted to display it, so I kind of needed those for the display.
And now Diecast has given everybody the same idea, and the prices on eBay are going to skyrocket because everybody's going to start buying up the sets.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Diecast already got his, so he's fine.
Yeah. There was one at TFCon Toronto too. That was a decent price, and I kept going back and forth, and I ended up not picking it up. And I was just like, it's something like I usually see one of, and I'm like, eventually they're all, they're just going to dry up. I mean, the set was from 2014, but eventually there's not going to be many sets out there for sale.
Yeah, what else did you end up getting diecast?
I bought a ton of stuff off Eric because he apparently robbed a Walmart, or no, he got, there was a Walmart that was closing, and he got to buy a bunch of stuff.
They were clearancing out everything apparently.
And he walked in with a ton of boxes.
New stock, yeah.
But I bought a bunch of Marvel Legends off him, and I also bought another 6-gun and another Brunt off him because they're weaponizers, so can't have too many of them. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I got of note, and I probably bought something else, but I can't remember.
Matt, what about you? What did you pick up? I heard you picked up some Beast Force figures.
Well, first, I was very, very bad this weekend. So terrible. So I did there. It's Beast Wars 2nd, Brian. I'll have you know. And
still Beast Wars.
It's the power of the Seacons compelled me. I got God Neptune
Beautiful.
from Azuz's table. He actually brought 2 sets of God Neptune. I deprived him of the box set, and Miguel from Steel City Bots deprived him of the loose set. So
that was something I wanted for over 20 years. I was so happy when I found it. I'm happy for you that you got it, and Miguel.
Yeah,
I've wanted it longer than Miguel's been alive.
So I made the traditional trip to Bobby Skullface's table and got a very, very large, very nicely done woven blanket with Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker on it. But it's over there and way too big to hold up on the screen. I did visit Mr. Paul Lighting's table and got myself a T-shirt because
nice.
I love that man to death. He is great.
I didn't know he was selling T-shirts. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. Matt actually stole that off of his body.
Yeah.
How very perceptive of you, Chris.
I've stayed with Matt a few times. I know how he works.
Absolutely. So, in the artist room, I stopped and got myself a Rodimus star. Finally, I've been meaning to pick one of these up. Nice. One of these up, yeah, for the past several cons, and I'm always like, I'll come back and get that later. Well, this time I made sure to go back and get it.
Miguel says he's older than God Neptune, by the way.
Not by much.
By like 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah.
You wanted God Neptune before God Neptune was actually a thing. Like, just in your heart, you always knew that you needed that in your life.
Planecon's going to get repainted into God Neptune someday, and I want it.
Yeah, even if you didn't know the deco sheet of it, you knew that you needed it.
Casey
bought that Toxitron from Grimlockamus that I wanted.
Yeah. So Casey Collier had an art book of all his sketches in comic book form.
Oh, that cover's great.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff in the Marvel Comics G1 style, and it was really nice. And like I said, Sunday night after the show ended, when we were down in the bar, Aaron Archer came and hung out with us for hours. Like he was still with us when we pretty much got kicked out at 2 a.m. So and he gave a bunch of us that were there little art prints that he had done.
Nice. Oh, that's nice.
Just some random stuff. And this is the one, like, he handed around the stack and said, take whatever you want. And I like this one. So
that's awesome.
Aaron is a really great guy.
He is.
I had a lot of fun talking to him. Now, I found a stand back in the back that was doing glass work, and I got myself a McAdams Old Oil House mug.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, love this. And pull this one out of the package here. I got myself a glass with the Wreckers logo on it.
Cool.
Good way to get wrecked.
Absolutely.
And if you drink too much, it'll be wreck and drool.
Yeah. So, Don, awesome person that he is, hit up some Walgreens and found me a Siege Ratchet.
Nice.
And the Lightning Collection Armored Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin. And back to Transformers now. I've been collecting the X-Transbots, the G2 Stunticons, and I really, really like them, but they're taking forever to finish them, so I got impatient and went to the G1 versions and got Breakdown and Dead End.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And like I cannot tell you how much I love these figures. These are really, really well done. I cannot wait to get, to finish either set.
Now you can see why I was so shocked with those X-Transbots figures when they first came out, and I was like, "Man, this is like Toy of the Year material."
I mean, yeah, I've watched several reviews, and a lot of the reviewers are like, X-Transbots is doing some of their best stuff ever.
Yeah, like a lot of the early X-Transbot stuff, you would not expect something like this coming out. It was crazy. So, like Diecast said, Eric had some nice cheap Marvel Legends, so naturally I bought some. I got a Scorpion from him and a Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman and one of the Reavers. And then Miguel also had some that from his personal collection that he was clearancing out, and I got a Professor Xavier, a Rogue, and a Mystique.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you pick up anything else?
Why, yes, I'm still working on it. So
you beat me then, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe an amount, but not in estimated cost. So, God Neptune was not the only combiner I got. I also picked up Rail Racer. I used to have this one. I used to have this one. It was brand new, and it did not make the move back with me whenever I got out of the Marine Corps. I only had so much room. Something had to give. But I like combiners, and I like Rail Racer.
Well, now that we're turning to now that Earthrise is going to be mostly G1 all over again. I know that's not technically G1, but the whole train motif would fit if they wanted to go that route.
Raiden.
Yeah, I really want to Raiden.
So hey, you got that one mint and sold box, didn't you? Train bots.
No, I got that one from Transformers Land. It's actually not complete. I'm missing one of the missiles, but it's not like integral to any of the forms, so I'm okay with it. But I also got.
That's what you got in the box, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Korean version. This is the Sonicong one, but
so Build King.
Build King, yeah. And
what was
his pretty colors.
What was the Hasbro name again?
Landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have that one, the box set of that, but they're all yellow. So I wanted this one because I wanted this one because it's in the individual colors.
Shoot, I don't have the Walmart set anymore. I need to add that to my list.
Yeah, mine's in a bin somewhere. And I also got Build King again, but this is in the Constructicon colors. And I honestly didn't remember that these existed until I looked up and saw them.
Yeah,
they were a Target exclusive, I think.
Yeah. So
I didn't see those, but that was Universe, right? I saw that Universe.
Yeah, they're Transformers Universe.
Universe Ruination, the desert camo that I donated in mint and sold box to Goodwill.
The cheddar cheese one?
Yeah, it was like over $100. Yeah. I'm like, I donated this to Goodwill. So stupid.
I picked that one up a year or two ago for like $50. It's the urban camo one you can't find for a decent price.
I skipped that one too. I wish I'd have bought it.
Yeah. And that is, I believe, everything I got. Well, Don finally brought me my Voltron lines.
Cool. Don, why don't you tell us what you got at TFCon? If there's anything else, we'll save it until we come back around.
Okay. I got something off topic, but I'll wait till we come back around then. from Mr. Casey Kohler himself. I was going to get the art book that Matt did, and I decided, there's one thing I want from this thing, and I got the second lady of Transformers, the Circuit Breaker print, because she's probably the only one of the Neo Knights I'll ever see on paper. So I got the Circuit Breaker print, which is absolutely beautiful. And I got all the exclusives, as I said. I went to the dealer room one last time before I left, and picked up a couple of the Magic Square things or Iron Factory. Sticking with the Mirage theme, I got the Iron Factory Mirage, because it's just a really good looking figure. I also picked up the Magic Square Hoist to go with my Magic Square Trailbreaker. I don't know why, I just wanted him all of a sudden. Picked up Steam Robo, aka Loco, from Machine Robo, which I don't know if y'all can see it because my camera's froze. There we go.
See it. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that one. I thought about picking that one up, and I didn't.
Yeah, so this brings me up to date on my Machine Robo. Went ahead, canceled my online pre-order because the store was taking forever to get the pre-order in. So I got a Smokescreen from Selects, because Smokescreen is my favorite of the Dotson brothers. In stores, can we talk about what I found in the stores, Brian, or wait till later?
If you didn't get it at TFCon, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, all right. And then the other two things I got at TFCon, things I've been wanting for a very long time but didn't think I would. Thanks to Diecast and Mactavius on Twitter, splitting the TF Collectors Club Old Snake bat set with me, I was able to finally get my Old Snake.
Oh, jealous.
Who I've been wanting for a long time, and they were nice enough to take the bats off my hand, so I got that. And from our friend Miguel, Logos Minor, I picked up one of the things I had been looking for a very long time and never thought I would find one affordable. Telemoka Tigatron.
Beautiful.
Which I had been looking for a very long time, and pretty much gave up ever finding one either affordable or complete. And he sold me this for a really good price, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous version of the Tigatron. The color is just this beautiful white and black, and that slightly metallic green. Just an absolutely beautiful figure. I've been wanting this for a very long time, so I'm glad I have that now.
Well, I couldn't tell from the photo that you posted or that was posted on Twitter, and I just thought it was like Tigatron. I'm like, why is Don so freaking out about Tigatron? But yeah, I didn't realize that it was that version.
And the reason I laughed at that is the funny thing was, before Don got to the convention, I sent him on Twitter, I sent him a picture of that figure and said, look what I just bought off Miguel.
I saw that. That made me laugh.
So, but I was obviously just joking.
Anything else, Don, that you got at TFCon?
Not from TFCon.
Okay,
no.
so I'll do mine, then we can come back around for other stuff. I had a pretty good weekend at TFCon. So I put up a poll of, what I should get. I had Guard City on it, Battle Gaia, Overlord, and there's one more, and I can't remember what it was. Then I also put that, I would like to get a Metro Titan, but, I only had 4 options. And honestly, Metro Titan is the toy that I don't have, that I've wanted the longest. And like the likelihood that I'm going to find and get a Metro Titan at TFCon is almost not existent. So I went to the dealer room and I looked around for a minute, and I saw my buddy John Runsky, and I went to his booth, and he had like 3 Jetfires. One was like $300. I'm like, I don't want to spend that. Then he had one that was substantially less, and I looked at it and I'm like, well, like what? Why is this one $300 and this one not? And he's like, well, this one comes with the stickers not applied. So I looked at it and like, that's actually in better shape than the Mitten Box Jetfire that I sold years ago, and it was actually less than what I sold it for. So I got Jetfire Mitten Box that is white and shiny and pretty and new.
Now put it in a tightly sealed box in the dark closet and never take it out into the light of day again.
Yep.
Under a sheet and under a sheet.
So if he gets like a fireproof safe or a strong box or something and just puts it in that, it should that should be light filtering enough.
So I made a couple purchases at Cro-Mag Toys, which is a store out of Raleigh that Don had told me about. I saw Mint Box riding in the it proudly displayed. I'm like, funny I saw that, so I went and looked, and I realized, hey, it was the same dealer. I picked up a couple things from them. One of them was not Transformers. It was Condor from Mask. The only Mask toy I had as a kid. The only one. And I'm like, crap, I want it. He actually had a bunch of Mask, and I almost got, what is it? The one that comes with Matt Tracker, the Challenger, the...
Thunderhawk.
Thunderhawk, yeah. I almost picked that one up. I think I'm going to now. They had a really nice one. It was more than I wanted to spend. And apparently I can get a decent one on eBay for like $50. I'm going to keep looking to see if I can get one that's complete in the 50 to 75 range, but I'm going to hold off. The one thing I got at TFCon that I really regret, I got from that table. Just because believe it or not, I don't actually have a Laser Rod Optimus Prime. I kind of wanted to skip the reissue. I wanted the vintage. And they cut me a deal on it because it's missing a couple things, including the chest stickers. So I'm going to have to hope that Toy Hacks has stickers for this. It's also missing the disc launcher on the top of the trailer. I don't know how hard it's going to be to find that. I can probably get by finding one that came with Scourge. So I may do that. But
I mean, for complete accuracy, you need to get specifically a Black Convoy one because the Scourge version retooled the symbols off.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I mean that's the discs though. I would find like a launcher from one of the.
Well, do you have the discs but not the launcher?
No, I'll have to get the disc, but I'll try to hopefully find the. I think it'd be easier to find the G2 discs than it would be to find the launcher. I would think.
Yeah, who even knows?
Yeah, but
no, this stuff really follows logic when you get down to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in good shape. It's in great shape actually, and it includes the gun and everything else, but it's missing the stickers. Let's see, what else did I get? 1, 2, 3. I got 3 other things. So I was going to make a dumb purchase. And, the fans voted. My Twitterverse voted that I was going to get an Overlord.
Well, you think that, but I actually just directed the botnet at your poll and stacked it to be Overlord because I thought you should get an Overlord.
Okay, well, Chris wanted me to get an Overlord. And Overlord is the toy that I had years ago, and I sold it. And I was actually surprised. I was over at Transformerland, and they had an Overlord, and it's in great shape. The Mega and Giga, the legs are a little loose on it, but otherwise, it's in really good shape. And it's missing one missile, and I don't know for a fact, but the missiles look to be the same as Metroplex's missiles, so I might be able to get by just using a Metroplex missile to replace the one, if I ever even care. But, I was there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get Overlord. I've wanted Overlord. I've regretted that sale for years, so I was with Matt, and we were looking... just looking at the stuff, and I'm like, well... See,
that was your first mistake. You went looking at expensive toys with Matt behind you.
Yeah, and I was looking at toys. And I'm like,
that was his first and not his last mistake.
Like, oh, crap. There's Metro Titan. And it said on the bag that Metro Titan was missing a ramp. And I'm like, I'm looking at him through the bag, and I'm like, his ramp is right there on his chest. So it's not missing a ramp. And, I'm not somebody who... is really discerning when it comes to the stuff. So I went ahead and bought Metro Titan. The toy that I've wanted since like 1997, desperately. And looking it over, inspecting, it's in great shape too. It's really nice. It's an awesome shape. Going through the bag, the only thing, it's missing a couple of things. Not missing a ramp. It's missing the missiles. Again, the Metroplex missiles will match. They're the same color. But it's also missing one of the antenna. So it looks to be the same color of Metroplex's antenna. And if it's not, it's so close, it's not going to matter. So I went ahead and I have a Metroplex antenna on the way.
If the color mismatch is worse in person, you can always just get another Metroplex antenna and replace both of them.
Yeah.
And then they'll match each other.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll just live with it.
You can live with it.
I can live with it. But they come with Metro Dash, which is Scamper. They come with Metro Bomb, which was Micromaster Sky Stalker, which I love that name, Metro Bomb. That's pretty awesome. And Metro Tank, which was Slammer. Yeah.
Metro Shot, I think, was 6 gun.
Metro Shot was 6 shot. Yeah, forgot about Metro Shot right here.
6 gun.
6 gun. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, 6 gun Metro Shot. Pretty phenomenal. Really pleased with it. It's one of those things where I have not regretted this one a bit. And I'm actually going to have to move tons of stuff off my current shelves to display this, but this stuff is getting displayed in a very prime spot.
I'd make that fairly prominent.
Yeah, that's getting a really nice spot, you know. So, and I was there looking at the stuff, and well, I was just looking.
I was there pointing stuff out to him.
Yeah, and I saw another bag with a very reasonably priced. I didn't realize the price on this toy was so reasonable, relatively speaking. G1 Star Saber. I've always wanted Star Saber. I've actually getting the Masterpiece toy did not scratch the itch, and I thought, man, as nice as the Masterpiece toy is, it really, I don't think in my heart and mind, it's not as nice as the G1 toy. Well, now that I own the G1 toy, the Masterpiece toy is way nicer, indescribably nicer. But the thing about this, like the white is not vibrant white, but it's also not off white. It's like somewhere in between. So again, it's nice looking. The stickers on it are really good. The gold chrome is not worn off at all. It's actually in really great shape, and it was like a third of what I really expected to pay. So, and it was complete, nothing missing. The one thing I don't like about it, and it came with the instructions and the catalog and everything, but the one thing it scares me is that the leg joints in the super robot mode are super tight. Oh gosh, they're so tight. And I thought there was I thought they were mechanically locked somehow, that if you put in the jet, it unlocks them like you would with a Power Master or something. It does not seem to be the case. The instructions do not show that. Everything I've seen online doesn't necessarily show that. So the joints are just super tight and scary tight. So I don't think I'm going to transform it any more than I already have. But it's really nice. So, and the interesting thing is that I never realized, because the scans you see online don't necessarily show it that way. The catalog for Victory, at least the one that came with Star Saber, the back, you flip it over, it's actually the Master Force catalog. I wouldn't have expected that. I would have figured that it would have been, double-sided Victory, but no, it's one side's Victory, one side's Master Force. Yeah, so I had a pretty good weekend when it comes to TFCon.
Yeah, so as Brian was buying his G1 Overlord and his G1 Metro Titan and his G1 Star Saber all in one shot, that's when I decided to point out, hey Brian, there's Guard City. Look at that.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have started
and
with
he
that.
Stopped and thought about it.
If you would have started with that.
Yeah, I would have Guard City right now, actually.
The guy who ran the Transformers Land actually joked about paying me a commission on the sale, because I just kept making Brian buy more things.
Well, Matt, you should have asked for that commission turned into a discount off the Guard City,
right?
Yeah,
and probably would have done it.
Yeah, basically after I got tired of spending my own money, I turned on Brian and Blade Raider and made them spend all of theirs.
Glad I wasn't there.
I got Aaron from Autopod Decepticast to buy a Hydra, which was pretty cool.
The fans' toys.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I, not as much as Matt, but I did partake in getting people to spend money, which is actually pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of you have still managed to top me. I made Brian buy a car once.
You did.
To drive me to BotCon.
He did.
So, step up your game, boys.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll come back around for everybody else. I know Chris got a couple things that, I obviously wasn't at TFCon. So what'd you get? And we'll sort of work back around the group.
Okay, so first thing, I have the Flame Toys IDW Autobot Megatron model. Bluefin sent this over for review, so I spent the weekend putting this together. It's quite nice, except for the silver foil chest stickers, which I'm going to remove as soon as I can find a Gundam marker in a good shade of dark gray, because these foil stickers look terrible on this Megatron. But otherwise, it looks really good just put together out of the box. The other stickers are all little tiny things except for the Autobot symbol. So if you don't want to have stickers on your model, you can totally do without almost all of them. And honestly, if you want, you could just get a little Toy Hacks Autobot symbol to put on the chest if you want something completely not foil finish. I actually found this to be better overall in most respects than the Bumblebee kit I had a few months ago. For one thing, there wasn't any particular major problem with the assembly. There was a couple parts on Bumblebee that were just so hard to get together the way the instructions were directing it to be done, because it's put a hinged part on a moving ball joint stem and try to press them together without everything just pushing apart again.
That's always fun.
Yeah, no, that was a terrible experience with that Bumblebee, and there's tight fitting parts on Megatron putting it together, but nothing came close to that kind of experience. And on the whole, the completed Megatron figure here, it feels more solid. With Bumblebee, the armor around the waist, what we would call skirt armor on a Gundam, is really delicate, and it has to all line up a certain way. Megatron doesn't have anything like that either. The waist armor on that's a lot more. It's more minimal for one thing, and there's less moving parts of it. So everything just feels more sturdy on it, and it's a great interpretation of Alex Milne's art for Megatron as he appeared in More Than Meets the Eye. The face sculpt came out really nice, and if you're into the way Megatron was drawn in the comics at that point, or just the plot line with Megatron for that, this is a really great representation. The only problem really in that regard is it's a little on the small side to go with most of the Generations toys. So in head height terms, it's about equal to Siege Megatron for a point of comparison, but it's not as chunky as Siege Megatron. So I would say Cloud Rodimus, in terms of official product, is the best analog we have for an IDW Co-Captain Rodimus. And that's at least half a head taller than this and noticeably kind of bigger looking. So that doesn't work too great for a side-by-side thing. Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus and this Megatron, though, don't look too bad next to each other because Magnus was always supposed to be, a fair bit bigger. So you can make this work if you want to incorporate this as that Megatron in a toy display. Just maybe be a little strategic in how you lay out the toys you're using, because I would honestly prefer this to be about an inch taller, that much proportionately bigger all around. But for what it is, it was a really good building experience. It took me about 5 episodes of Star Trek to put the whole thing together.
Which episodes?
All Good Things. Emissary, because it just seemed like a natural thing to follow up the end of Next Generation with the start of Deep Space Nine. And then, for some reason, I'd had in my head to watch the episode of Voyager where they build the Delta Flyer for the first time, but I didn't want to actually watch the episode since, half of it was that B'Elanna subplot about her being suicidally depressed, and, that's not as much fun as Tom just building a hot rod shuttle out of parts that Voyager shouldn't have access to in the first place, but that's another podcast. But yeah, those were the 5 episodes worth of Star Trek I had on while I was putting this together, and it made the time go by. It was a pretty enjoyable experience. I have finished filming the review for this today, and as long as I don't end up needing any reshoots because I didn't have time to review the footage yet, there should be content up on that on T-Formers tomorrow or Friday at the worst. Oh, one other thing this does better than Bumblebee. Bumblebee, the hands, the way that worked, Bumblebee had option hands, but it wasn't a whole extra hand unit. It was the fingers in the palm that you would swap out for a closed fist piece. Megatron actually has 2 complete sets of hands, so instead of taking the hands apart to change that, you just pop one hand out and put the other one in, like, a normal thing that has option hands. Nice. So I appreciated that a lot.
Cool.
And then also I got, thanks to Hey Mickey, he got me a Siege Ratchet. And he actually, when he sent this to me, he put the Walgreens receipt in the box and said, just in case it turns out to be defective and he needed to take it back. Well, I opened it up today, and one of the pegs on the weapon is mismolded and won't work. So I'm not going to actually take this back now, but if I run across another one, I'll probably grab it and swap the weapons and take one of them back. Take the swap weapon one back, so I have a proper one. But other than that, there's no major QC problems that I've discovered yet. And we know, because we've seen pictures of this for months already, because Walgreens, dragged their heels on actually releasing it, even though it would have been available to them probably since September, because that's when it came out in Canada. But there's a lot of changed parts on here, and the effect is pretty subtle when you don't have it side by side with Ironhide. But even in absence of a direct comparison, it does look and feel a little bit different in both modes from Ironhide. So they put a lot into this. It's kind of a shame that the release in the US is comparatively kind of limited, because each Walgreens is probably will only get 2 of these ever.
You think so?
Yeah, I think most of the distribution is going to be online when Walgreens' website decides to work and let you order it, because I know people were having problems with that.
Yeah,
well, Chris, just to let you. Oh, sorry,
go ahead.
Brian.
Don, go.
No, I stopped at 2 Walgreens on the way in. There was none at the first one. I found 4 at the second one. So it's going to be. I mean, just to let you know. I mean, I did find 4.
So it's basically a ratchet lottery.
Yeah, pretty much. Because when I picked up the armored black ones picked those up, there was 6 there. Wow. When I was, the whole row of Power Ranger slot was nothing but armored black, so it's going to be a dice roll.
I went to 6 Walgreens before I found mine, and talking to the people in toys at Walgreens are yeah, I put this out yesterday, and somebody snatched them up immediately. So, and I live in a relatively small town, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get snatched up though and wind up on eBay.
I only have one Walgreens in 30 miles in any direction, and the only time they've gotten Transformers exclusives in was when it was that Clone 2-pack, and I think that's just because that was on its own item number. It couldn't be cross-referenced with the deluxes that they already have. But if I need Power of the Primes, Jazz, or Cutthroat, I'm totally in business with my Walgreens. But yeah, I like the changes they made to Ratchet. The new accessory parts are pretty cool. The multi-hinged tool mount for the back, which is based on something from the sled of the G1 toy, I think. Mm-hmm. And then you get a wrench and what could be a gun or a laser welder or something. There's a lot to this, and this turned out really well. Ironhide was a good mold to start with. Certainly the best Ironhide we've had in ever, possibly. Maybe the Masterpiece would be better, but I don't do that kind of thing. And it makes a good Ratchet. Crosshairs will probably be fun to have too, but I don't think it'll be quite as special since it doesn't have near as much new parts. I think it's just a head swap. But yeah, that's all I got this week, since I didn't go to a convention with thousands of dollars of credit to blow.
So, Rob,
and I didn't have Matt at my side at any point in the last 7 days to try to encourage me to make more purchases.
Rob, what'd you get?
Okay, I got a few things. First up, I also got Ratchet thanks to the generosity of Phil from ASM Zine. He sent me that as a congratulations on not dying gift. And yeah, I'm with Chris. I really like it. I like all the new parts. I do wish the repair bay mode, which is in the instructions, was a little bit more of a mode. It's really not. It's just kind of half transformed to look like a repair bay, sort of. I found a configuration I like a little bit better, which is to just open up the flaps on the vehicle mode and pull the arms to each side, which you can still kind of plant the accessories in such a way as though it looks like it could repair a MicroMaster. It's a little bit more solid and less floppy, and again just less half transformed. So it just appeals to me more that way. But this sounds more like complaining than it should, because I'm really happy with the toy. But Chris took all the good points, so I'm just kind of rolling here. Same as with Ironhide, there are those 5mm ports inside the leg flaps, and I have no idea how you would ever use those for anything, because there is no configuration of the rest of the leg transformation, no matter whether you do my half-hearted repair bay or their half-hearted repair bay. There is nothing that leaves those unobstructed. There's just really no way to do that, and I'm not sure why they're there. But again, that's all just quibbles. I do love the new parts. I love that they're based on the gun part from the platform in G1 Ratchet's sled. That's G1 Ratchet's actually the first toy, one of the first toys I bought online. The first Transformer I bought online. I bought that off of Prodigy like 25 years ago. But yeah, the head sculpt is fantastic. It is a great toy, and it does not have the fit problems with the two side panels that Ironhide had. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I was able to direct Phil to the fix on Play with Photography, so he'll be able to fix his. So
yay!
Yeah. Other than that, I got the G2 Sideswipe upgrade set from Non-F Productions, and I'm pretty happy with that. Everything fits well. The bandolier is a softer plastic than I actually was anticipating. I think it's
silicone, actually.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it is a much, like I said, I haven't dealt with that kind of silicone in many a year. It could possibly be fragile or collect dust in the long run, so that's just something to watch out for if you're for a long-term display. It could get a little delicate in future years, so just be warned about that. The rest of everything else fits really well, very solid. The only thing I wish maybe had been done differently is that the two guns, they are made to be Siege compatible. They can combine with other things, but if the holes had been put on the back of the one just slightly differently, they could combine with each other. And I really think I would have preferred that. But otherwise, like I said, great set. I'm still pondering whether to follow up on that with some Toy Hacks stickers or not. But I also got the Legends class weapon set from Non-F at the same time. And those are really nice little guns. If they belong to specific characters, like from the animation or whatever, I'm not sure what goes to who, except for Outback's gun, and sadly that's the only thing in the set that kind of bugs me, because it doesn't quite work for Outback's vehicle mode. It is, if you plug it into the 5mm port on top, it butts into the tire on the back. It does not have a smaller peg so that you could plug it into the socket on the tire, which is where it went on the G1 toy. So it'll be fine for robot mode, but you can't quite get it where you feel like it should go in vehicle mode in either of the possible placements. That's a shame, but if I can find just some kind of like little extender to make it sit up a little taller, and I'm almost certain I've seen such a thing with some toy or another, I will use that and install it on Outback. Trying to think if I got anything else. Brain is not good this week.
Brainy's bad too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The one other thing I found, it's off topic, but I found Final Fantasy Explorers for the 3DS for $9 at Walmart, and that is basically the Final Fantasy version of Monster Hunter, which is pretty much right up my alley. So that's a really pleasant little game, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
So on the non-FG2 sideswipe guns, I know Nanef has said that there was supposed to be more features intended for these guns that had to end up being cut for production reasons. So the pegging and compatibility you're talking about probably was a side effect or a holdover from that, where it's supposed to actually do more of something and just didn't kind of work out that way.
Oh, that explains a lot. Still, I can't complain too hard because that is a really solid set of upgrade parts for $10.
Yeah, Hey Mickey got this set too, and he took a chrome pen to those guns, and that looks a lot better that way. And I'm probably going to have to go buy a chrome pen now.
I actually have the chrome pen. I'm going to have to think about that.
Because, like, they're molded really nicely, and I understand why, like, you know, it's all got to be one color of plastic, and the gray suits, like, some of the parts better, but, like, I don't really like how the guns look in the flat gray they come in. They basically just look like they've been sprayed with primer, and nothing more has been done with them, and, you know, if it was sold as, like, a, you know, prototype style thing, that would be one thing, but it looks a little unfinished, so, you know, chrome pen or something probably will dress that up better.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. John, did you get anything?
Yeah, I've been on a kick buying vintage literature about toys, Toy Fair, price lists, planograms, things like that.
Ooh, planograms.
Unfortunately, the word's out on those, so it's hard to get a good deal on eBay like you used to. And so actually one that got away, sadly, a couple days ago, because the price kind of skyrocketed, but not so much where I have some regrets, is that on eBay there was a really cool packet, like a B2B packet, that was like a pitch for the concept of mask. So it was like a folder full of like one sheets and different like kind of like one-off pieces that were created to basically, like, if you were a toy salesman, which they had them back then in the early 80s, literal toy salespeople, you could like present this packet to probably like an indie toy store owner to explain like the concept of mask in the hopes that they would buy into the product line. So things like that, and that got away from me, sadly. So things like that are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
And kind of overlooked when it comes to toys, like that kind of background stuff. But I did land a couple things this week. I got the 1989 Galoob Toy Fair catalog, which is...
That cover is awesome.
Full of stuff that I only had vague memories of either seeing or having, mostly just seeing.
Is Mr. Game Show in that?
I didn't realize.
I mean, that was a couple years after Mr. Game Show, but is he in that?
Let me see, Mr. Game Show. Let me see on the back.
That was my favorite Galoob toy that I had as a kid.
I'll have to look him up. He's not jumping out in here.
I think there's 87.
Do you remember Army Gear? Army Gear was like the transforming army stuff, like a machete. But not
Oh, yes,
I
do. Yes.
That's Galoob. So there's stuff in here where, like, if it's not Transformers, I don't have like a deep knowledge of stuff, so you don't put the pieces together until you look through the catalogs. But Army Gear was Galoob. Of course, Star Trek is in here. The Next Generation stuff's in here. Micro Machines, lots of good stuff. So anyway, so that's 1989, and then I got the 1996 Kenner Tonka Hasbro Toy Group binder, nice. And since it is like back in the mid 90s, especially, Hasbro hadn't consolidated fully all their acquisitions, so they were the Hasbro Toy Group. So it was comprised of still like kind of Tonka and Kenner and Hasbro were still kind of floating out there in the industry in much more independent pockets than they are now, if there's anything left. So anyway, so this is a big old huge binder full of sales sheets and product pitches, and it's broken up by different categories based on the manufacturer. And of course, in 1996, one of the things that is in here pretty prominently is Beast Wars. So that was still a very top of the heap presentation for them. So there's different kinds of one sheets in here and different kinds of like spreads in here, kind of trumpeting Beast Wars. So those are two good finds for me. And right now, what I'm trying to hunt down, we'll see if I can land it at some point, is GoBot stuff. So GoBot stuff actually is pretty interesting back in the day. One thing that I've noticed is Tonka did a lot better job at packing price lists with things like this. So you don't always get actual price sheets with this stuff. Sometimes it's just the catalog, because the price sheet was separate. So you would pitch the retailer and try to get them on the hook, and then you tell them how much it costs.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Tonka did a much better job of kind of designing packets and having packets where the price list was apparently just easier to preserve. So I'm trying to hunt those down now, because the price lists are cool. Like the wholesale lists, those are fun. And like I said, the planograms are even cooler, but those are super hard to find.
I mean, nobody saved planograms.
Well, they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, so many planograms just got thrown away at the Javits Center probably back in the day. Just as people walked out. So anyway, sad. Yeah, the only way those things get preserved really are in like employees' attics by accident, and they might find their way to eBay, but anyway, when they do, this stuff is on a lot of people's watch lists, including mine.
The thing about planograms, those weren't produced by Hasbro; they were produced by the individual retailer. I mean, like, there's value there, but I mean, in my mind, that's less important than, you know, if Hasbro had pushed it onto them.
Yeah, it kind of varied a little bit. So, like, the other thing, like, I noticed is, I think it was, might have been Kenner. Anyway, they have these books called profit centers, or like $1 billion idea books, something along those lines, where it is like they have a suggested planogram, and of course they tell you how much. I mean,
vendors did have recommendations.
Right. Well, remember back in the day, you had independent toy shops. Imagine that around the country.
I had one
where you could actually, or they would actually depend on the vendor, the toy vendor, to tell them like, okay, how do I merchandise this? What should I buy? What is hot this season? They would lean a lot more into that and let you kind of control your real estate in the store. So some companies did a much more elaborate job, I guess, of having those documents, and some of those are more preserved than others. But yeah, it's another way of going back and seeing how different the business was 30 years ago, where now it's just Amazon, Target, Walmart. That's about it.
And for people who don't know what a planogram is, it's usually a sheet of paper or a booklet that has been stapled together that tells the person who's setting the shelf where to, like, coordinates on the shelf as to where to place like the individual items. So it's literally like paint by the numbers merchandising. So
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
so John, you're kind of doing what Brian's friend at Sharticon is doing by saving the old Transformer ads. It's along the same
Crazy
lines
Steve,
as that.
in a way.
Yeah. You're preserving the history of the brands, not from the physical toys, but from the media that surrounded it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I said, like the toy business, the documents behind the business of it are really interesting to me. And I don't have like an eye for it, but I'm sure in a lot of these pamphlets and stuff is just unproduced stuff or weird prototypes that were like hand painted and they were thrown into a Toy Fair catalog, and
I would assume that for sure.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of neat things in there.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. Matt, did you get anything that wasn't TFCon?
No, thankfully.
Diecast.
Nope.
Don did.
Yes, I did. The only off-topic thing I've got, which I hope and believe will be the last of my Eagle Mouse.
So make it quick.
I know. I am. The Eagle Mouse Battlestar Galactica Classic Sideline Raider, the Stormtrooper of spaceships, can't hit nothing and blows up easy, but it's gorgeous and it looks nice next to my Viper.
Okay, what Transformers did you get?
That is nice looking.
I picked up my local Walmart got in the display finally while I was on vacation.
The PDQ.
And I decided to get Barricade. I was kind of on the fence about him, but when I saw him in person with the colors, and since I've got Smokescreen, I thought they looked nice together on the shelf. And then, of course, I also got Cell Shaded Optimus, who looks really nice. It looks. I can't really.
What's the face on it?
He said the dark one with the lighter highlight.
Is that the
preferable one?
Okay.
Yeah. So I completely even forgot there was a face difference until you mentioned it. But I got him, and I also picked up Megatron. Megatron isn't quite as snazzy, I guess is the best word. But it's a match pair. I mean, like, if you're going to buy Optimus, you go buy the Megatron that matches. But I'm hoping these do well so we get other cel-shaded figures. Because it'd be nice to have these in a retail line since they do look pretty good at this price point and not have to go to a third-party route to get some cel-shaded figures.
Yeah, maybe next year at this time we'll get Siege Optimus in cel-shaded deco.
That would be nice.
You mean Earthrise?
Yeah.
Earthrise, yeah.
Yeah, Earthrise, thank you.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
Cool. Anything else, Don?
I got a relay in my car for air conditioner for $65.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's important, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I guess that leaves me. I also got the Optimus and Megatron from Walmart, 35th anniversary. I've never actually seen a cel-shaded toy in person, but I've watched on Facebook and YouTube and everything where people actually customize and do this. So going into it, I figured that these are going to be, obviously being Hasbro and the price points are not, but like dripping in paint. But they're really not. It's just the flat plastic with some additional highlights on it, and it works really well.
Strategically applied paint.
Strategically applied paint, and it works really, really well. So yeah, these are a bargain. I think they look great. I like them. I like the toys anyway. I want more of these. And my order, these are actually I got these from the store. The order that I placed, I got an email saying that they were delayed. I'm like, screw that. I'm just going to go pick them up. So, and I was also able to get Blue Streak. And it's the same toy again.
It's the nicest one, though.
It's pretty, but it's yeah.
In terms of construction and feel, I found it to be the nicest of the whole set.
So, we have that. Got Ratchet. I know a lot of people have been complaining just about the sheer amount of white and everything. It's not trying to be G1 Ratchet, so I'm fine with however they want to paint it. Honestly, that's just it's not an attempt to recreate G1. It's a Ratchet. It
still needs the red pants, though.
It could use more, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, there's enough
that's
red paint spread over it to where the white's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. Would I like a little more red on it? Yes, but I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think the big problem is that where the red is placed in the robot mode, it basically looks like it's just like trimming all the edges, but there's not any red in the middle. So it still makes it look like it's just a sea of plain white with nothing to break it up. It's the way the paint is laid out more than the amount that there is that's creating the impression that there's not that much paint.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with how it is, but I could stand a little more silver and maybe different red placement in the robot mode if I was looking for my perfect Ratchet.
I'd honestly like the hands to be red too.
Yeah, that's probably the big thing for me.
So I also got the 2009 Toys R Us exclusive Darkwind. Yeah, so
very pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's I forgot that I didn't have it, and I saw that was it Barricade 64? It was selling it a while back, and I'm like, oh, he's selling that. I'm like, I should get that. And
is that the one off the Universe Silverbolt mold?
Yes,
it is.
It is.
Yeah, I have that. That is really pretty.
It is. And I'd forgot about it because I have this, and what was it, Skyjack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Skyfall,
yeah.
It's Cyberjet Skyjack as a character.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, it was decorated like Skyjack. And I forgot about it until he posted it. I'm like, crap. I didn't jump on it, but this weekend I was tweeting about how Matt got Rail Racer and Barricade 64. It's like, well, I might sell mine. I'm like, oh, well, if you do that, I also want Darkwind. So, but I also got Rail Racer. So, like Matt, I had this years ago. It was purged for some stupid reason. I don't know why. So,
yeah, just like mine.
Yeah. So,
and I gotta say, messing with the individual robots, I love how terrible Midnight Express is.
Oh yes.
He's all feet. He's all legs and feet.
I transformed it into robot mode and just smiled like the dumbest grin. It was.
No, I mean that's 1999 Takara engineering right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember at the time when we learned about Robots in Disguise, we thought Midnight Express was going to be the name of the combiner, and that was the most awesome name ever.
Although Rail Racer is pretty damn good too.
It is, but it's not Midnight Express.
It's not, no.
I also got MP21R, the red version of Bumblebee. I didn't have it, so I like it. I actually like this mold way better than I did when it first came out. I think it's because we've had so many ridiculously overcomplicated Masterpiece toys that have come out, and this is just really simple. It took me about a minute to transform without looking at the instructions. It's simple, It's elegant, it looks like the character. I am fine with that. I want more Masterpiece toys like that. And
I don't think you're going to get them.
Nope, sadly. I am not. And the last one I got was based on somebody last week, Matt, I think, or Diecast, mentioning that it was for sale. Clampdown, Masterpiece Clampdown, which I didn't have.
I think that was me, Brian.
Or Don. Thank you, Don. So I picked that up in my quest to get the handful of Masterpieces that I don't have that I want. So, so I have that now.
And we'll sadly never have a deep cover to go with him.
Yeah. I guess that leaves me with Cordon, Sound Blaster, and I can't think of much else that I don't have that I would. Oh, and the MP36, the toy version, the Megatron, and the toy version of Optimus Primal. And I think that's the Masterpiece toys that I don't have that I want. So, and I can just stop then.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to get Supreme Commander Convoy for a decent-ish price. I think that's the less popular of the two versions.
So, in the chat, Prime Breaks is like, Transformers fans, cool, it's Clampdown. Non-Transformers fans, who's Clampdown?
I mean, half of Transformers fans, too, is who's Clampdown.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, we are now over an hour and a half into the show. Let's talk about news. We'll make it quick.
Do we ever make it quick?
Please do. 4 a.m. comes very early.
Yes, it does. So, Comic-Con London, Hasbro had a presentation. They showed off new Cyberverse toys and new bots. So, let's see here. Cyberverse, there was, what a new gimmick. Is it an extension of the Spark armor gimmick? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's now built-in armor as opposed to separate robots. So, looks like they'll have, just flip-out armor that pops up for them.
I like it. They showed off Siege stuff. Nothing new.
Earthrise.
Yes, I did it too. Earthrise. Devastator. So there's going to be a new bots game, I guess. Is it a mobile game?
Not that I thought the same thing, but no, that apparently Gold Rush Games is just the name of this new assortment.
It's the name of the assortment. So like they're the gold colored bots. I thought reading this, everything I read, everything I skimmed, read is not the right word. Everything I skimmed, I just assumed. And even reading the email from Hasbro that they sent me, I'm like, oh, I guess they're going to do a game. Great. Okay, so it's...
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought Gold Rush Games was the name of the developer working on it, too.
That's exactly what I thought. And I thought, I might actually play that one. But no.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so so they're basically gold-colored. I guess they're supposed to be like trophies. That's pretty cool. Then there's the gumball machine, which the gumball machine, the way that I understand it, it's that's what you buy. So it's not like you're, going into a vending machine and buying bots, but you should.
Yeah.
But so
no, this isn't Japan. Nobody will spend that much money on a vending machine.
I know. But with the bots set, what is it? A dozen, 10 or 12? I think it's 10. Come in the box in little the bubbles, and you can press a button or pull a trigger thing on it, and it ejects them. And then there's another way you can do it where it actually just like shoots them all out. That's pretty cool.
And one of them inside is going to be one of the trophy ones, I believe, is how it works.
Yeah, man, I'm sad now that there's not a bots game. I really am. I'm bummed. Yeah,
that would be fun.
That would be fun. I would do that. Let's see here. What else do we have going on? So they showed off and just showed the picture, but we have what Studio Series Devastator is going to look like.
Well, in this article, it's a display piece with test shots of two of them. So the colors are all messed up, and it's actually assembled incorrectly.
Yeah, they showed a render.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, they showed a render in the Comic-Con presentation that looked normal. But yeah, so you can go to Tformers or tfradio.net/646 and click on the link, and you can see it there. It's ugly.
Yeah, I don't think the proper colors are going to help it that much.
I don't either. Let's see here. Asia Comic-Con in Malaysia, photos of Siege and Studio Series displays, plus Masterpiece Sound and Black Arachnia. Yeah.
This seems to mostly be notable just for, better looks at Black Arachnia. Some people are saying the spider mode doesn't look as
horrible,
laughably ridiculous.
It looks better.
I think the jury's out on that.
I think it looks better. I don't think it looks good, but it looks better.
It certainly doesn't look 15,000 yen good, or 18,000 or whatever this costs.
Black Arachnia robot mode looks fine. The chest, I saw some photos that were shared today where the chest was, the color on it was a little weird, a little more orange than. I hate to even say that, but that's such. I hate to say it, but it's a prominent feature on that character. I mean, it really is.
Could just be the lighting.
Could be the lighting. Masterpiece, Way Too Late, Hound looks good. I'll get it, but it took a while. Don't really have a lot to add for Hound, though. I mean, we've gotten a pretty good look at that. I mean, and I hate to say it, but it would be hard for them to screw up a Masterpiece card. They've done it with Trax,
did you see that new version of Bumblebee on display at TFCon this weekend?
Did they wait? Did they have the new Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Captured Prey had the Bumblebee and the Astro Train. Oh my God, that Astro Train is
what Astro Train?
Siege.
They had a production sample of the Siege.
Yeah,
huh.
Oh
wow!
When I first saw it, I thought it was that transportation captain from a couple of years ago. It's so small.
I mean, we were expecting that anyway. It's like the Ultra Magnus. You take all the stuff off, and you've got a very small inner figure. That Astro Train's going to be the same way.
And it's consistent with the sacred scale chart, so
yes,
not a lot to complain.
No, the new Masterpiece Bumblebee looks even worse in person.
Well, they'll probably have a nicer life as Cliff Jumper when they get around to that.
I hate to say that I didn't see it, but I didn't. Had no idea. Let's see here. Viz is producing the second volume of Transformers, the manga. That's going to be out in March or April, something like that time frame, we think.
Something like that, yeah. Possibly May, I forget. I wrote the story and I forget.
That's up for pre-order right now. The volume 1's going to be out like in December or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm looking forward to that. So
it might be February, but yeah.
This is the stuff from what, TV Magazine? Or
we're not exactly sure, as far as we can tell, because basically the same people did pretty much all of the G1 era manga. So there's only two things specified in the first listing, which is the Great Transformer War and Fight Super Robot Lifeform Transformers. But I looked up the list on the wiki, and there is just, like I said, these same two authors did all of it. So this could be pretty much anything produced while G1 was airing in Japan.
I presume Volume 1 is going to be Fight Super Robot Lifeform Transformers. It's going to be the G1 stuff that, we got and they got dubbed in Japan. Volume 2 probably would then be either 2010, if that's not in Volume 1, or it'd be the start of the Headmasters.
Yeah.
So wait. Did they, when you said the stuff we got here, you're talking about the Marvel comic? What are you talking about?
No, in terms of TV show.
Yeah, that's, Super Robot Lifeform. Yeah, that's the season 1 and 2. Yeah. But the manga around it, I'm only aware of whatever was in TV Magazine. I don't know of anything else in particular. Of course, that's not like I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about the Transformers manga. Other than
the point is there was the manga running alongside Japanese G1.
Yeah, and then when we didn't have a series, that was like the fiction for Zone, Operation Combination,
Battlestars,
yeah.
So that's like, if and when they get to that point, that's when it's going to be really interesting, but it's still going to be interesting to get access to Headmasters, Master Force, maybe even Victory, because the Victory manga also kind of went a little off the rails too compared to what the TV show did.
Yeah, but I'm super stoked about this. I mean, it's effectively new fiction. It's not, but it is
for us.
It's new to us. Okay, so I'm looking something up here, and I have a pretty good idea, I think, of what is going to be in this if I can find the what I was just staring at. Okay, so the second volume is like 344 pages. Mm-hmm. Back in 2002, they put in Japan, they put out a compendium which was 640 pages. So it's probably a good guess that this hardcover is these hardcovers are that divided into two halves. And the full list is Super Robot Lifeform Transformers, the story of Super Robot Lifeform Transformers, Great Transformer War, Headmasters, Master Force, Victory, Zone, and Battlestars.
Great. So, you mentioned that set that came out, what, 06, you said?
02 actually is when the compendium came out in Japan.
Okay, so that I don't have. I was trying to think if I had that or not, because I always wanted that, and for whatever reason I thought I picked it up, but I don't think it's the last time I did a audit of my bookshelf, I wasn't there. So that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
So if that's the same content in these new Viz editions, then Volume 2 is going to be the one that everybody's going to be interested in, because that'll have the late Japanese G1 content in it.
That's great.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
because again,
I want to read that.
Yeah, because again, going back to my early days in the online fandom, when I thought everything was connected in Japan, it really sort of is in a backwards way, but like the future of Transformers that we never got here, it was really everything that happened in TV Magazine in the manga, and it's really cool that we'll actually be able to get that in English. I'm beyond excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see here. Nobody really cares about this one. Yes, we do. King Poseidon / Piranacon. We have photos of the fully combined mode, and it's glorious.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
And they even did the pose with the combined sword.
Yes. I love this.
So excited.
Yeah. Need 3 of them. At least.
Well, it's too late. Pre-orders for the last set just closed on Pulse yesterday.
I think he meant 3 color schemes.
Well, I really just want 3. I don't care. Different color schemes or what.
I want 3 different color schemes. But, I'll settle for 2.
But yeah, it's great. We're excited. We're very excited. And last news item here, which I haven't read, so I'm going to have to read ahead as I speak. Studio Series, new official images for Mixmaster, Soundwave, Megatron, Bumblebee, RC, Chromia, and Alita 1. So actually, I just read it right there. That's exactly what the news item is. So it's just new photos.
That Mixmaster can't be transformed right, can it?
No, it's horrible. I mean, it looks horrible.
It's a bad angle, being like all straight on like that, but I think that's correct.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well, remember, its main purpose in existing is to make the head of Devastator, pretty much.
Yeah, I can see that.
And everything else is just kind of secondary. Like, you're lucky it has a credible-looking vehicle mode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not buying any of these. I mean,
I
don't have a lot of opinions. Of course, I'll probably regret it in 10 years. I'm like, why didn't I get those?
I really doubt it.
No, probably not. The Soundwave I'll probably get.
Soundwave looks okay.
Yeah, I don't
think I need that Soundwave.
Actually, I'm trying to think of all the Studio Series toys I've bought, and I probably will not get Soundwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not.
I purchased one Constructicon just because it looked like an interesting toy / design on its own, and it's fine.
Yeah. Cool.
Scrap metal? What, the little yellow power shovel one?
I don't remember.
That's something like that.
Hey.
See, that's how much I care.
That's how much you care. So tfradio.net/Amazon, buy stuff. Buy your toilet paper, toothpaste, all your staples. Your Constructicons. Just go and type that in your browser right now. Like, you don't even have to buy anything. Just do that. And
but if you did buy something, that'd be great.
That would be awesome. It'll help us pay for the show. And this coming month, we got one of our big annual bills coming up. So if you want to help out, tfradio.net/Amazon. Okay, so let's just, I guess. Is there a T-Formers this week?
Yeah.
Rob, what's on T-Formers this week?
We've got a video review and images for Siege Deluxe Crosshairs, and of course, Chris's review of Flame Toys Megatron is coming soon.
Probably by the time this episode goes up, that will be out, unless Brian gets the episode out tonight, in which case...
maybe not. Probably not. Probably not. Okay, let's see here. You can find us online at tfradio.net. Of course, you can find this episode at tfradio.net/646. Rob Springer, who is not here, can be found at Robo Rob Springer on Twitter, unless he's changed it. I don't think he has. He's also at zonebase.org, and he should have an episode of the Zone Base podcast coming up soon. We're on Twitter at tfradio and on Facebook at facebook.com/tfradio. On the Instagrams at tfpodcast. And you can find us on YouTube at Radio Free Cybertron. Just go to tfradio.net, and at the top of the site and at the bottom of the site, we have all these links. You can find everything at tfradio.net, including our link to watch live and our archive going back 20 years.
That's way too many shows.
Yeah, so funny enough, I just did a download of like all of the updates and stuff from our Yahoo group going back to 2001. I was curious when we actually originally put RFC behind an RSS feed, because of course when we didn't to begin with, podcasts weren't a thing. It was 2005, October-ish. But it was just funny how I'm like, podcasting is this new thing. And you can download the show now through iTunes. It's just kind of funny. Back then, I hated the name podcasting because I thought it sounded stupid. But iPods
still sounds stupid.
Yeah, I know. iPods are a big deal. Now, iPod's not a thing. It's dead. And podcasts are still called podcasts, and it still sounds stupid. I hate the name podcast. Of course, I was calling RFC an internet radio show before that. Not that that's that much better, but I don't like the name podcast. I never have, and I never will. I'll never forgive them for what they did to my boy. So, yeah. But you can find me on Twitter at bkilby. And on Instagram at Brian Kilby. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, photography.com is sadly on hiatus because I've lost the use of my camera. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter at ChrisRTXV, where I'm trying to have a fundraiser so I can get a new camera and get back to work. I have a sales thread that I'm sharing regularly, so you can buy some of my stuff and help me out. Alternately, if you go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/playwithphotos, which I double-checked before I started doing this for a change, I have a special backing tier now specifically to support getting the camera replaced. It would only take a small number of people at that backing level for as little as 1 month to get me really close, if not all the way to where I need to be. But as always, all contributions are valued, and I'm super grateful for all of my supporters at every level. Do not read below this line. Oh, okay, I'm done.
Awesome. Cool. Don.
Yeah. Please check out Chris's page, or send any send any old Mavicas to Chris, as we have something temporary to work with, just in case. I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC4 EVR.
Rob.
I'm on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails, which is the official Twitter of Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. We are still covering Gundam Battle Operation 2 over there, the free-to-play Gundam game on PlayStation Network for PS4. About to be a big update this week. Halloween event, new mobile suit added, a new stage, a bunch of fun stuff. So check that out starting, the update goes live at 1 a.m. this morning, the night we're recording.
What's the new mobile suit?
The GOG, actually.
Oh, awesome.
But it is the last thing from First Gundam that is not in the game as of this moment. So
for Halloween, are they going to release an orange one that looks like a jack-o'-lantern?
I wish, but you would be able to paint it that way if you wanted. But one of the things you can actually get if you do the Halloween event is a little plush GOG that clings to your character's arm.
That's cool.
It's adorable. So I am looking forward to that. And if you like what I do over at Flailthroughs, you can go to patreon.com/Flailthroughs and throw me a couple of bucks for a request of specific mobile suit color, weapon combinations, what have you. And of course, the video stuff that Chris and I do for T-Formers, including the Flame Toys Megatron review, will be on YouTube at T-Formers TV.
Cool. John?
That John D everywhere.
Diecast. How do people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Twitter at Diecast2, and they can see all my reviews on tfradio.net/reviews, and you can follow me on Facebook at Reviews by Diecast.
Very cool. Awesome. That's it. We're gone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Cool. Okay. So let me hit stop. Hit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Don and Matt are also about to hit stop.
I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
Me too.
Hey, people watching live, I think we're just going to do no pre-show this week.
It's been a very
Post-show.
Post-show.
We did pre-show.
It's too late to do
It's
pre-show.
been a very long show.
Yeah. Yes, it has.
Yes.
Yeah, you got extremely
God,
lengthy TFCon content instead of a post-show this week.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I think we're all still worn out from the weekend.
I am.
And sick.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
totally worth it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, people watching live, we'll see you next week. We love you.
Good night.